We're live. Okay.
All right.
Let me go ahead and pull the live stream up here. All right. It's not yet there. It is live. Okay. Perfect. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm just going to leave this right here. Okay. Great.
Awesome.
Perfect. Okay. And are we recording already? Okay.
Let's do it.
Can we stop recording and start again?
Let's not
Sorry.
do it.
Wasn't quite ready yet. Okay. All right. Just give me the cue and we're good. And oh, do we start already again?
Not yet, but we can.
Okay, hold on. Let me breathe real quick. We got to get through this last little frustration of just the last 8 hours.
Read the
We're
title
gonna
of today's podcast.
Exactly. Okay. All right, Zach, whenever you're ready to go, just give us the cue. We are real people.
We are real people.
We are real people.
Stuff happens.
With real problems.
Yeah.
And we've got some really interesting stories to talk to you guys about today. Some frustrations of the day, week, month. We're just real people, guys. We're real people in the trenches with you guys. That's what we're talking about on The Real Estate Hustle. Stay tuned.
This is The Real Estate Hustle, a podcast about everything to grow and improve your real estate career. Broadcasting on Facebook Live. Here's your hosts, Rick Robinson and Travis Green.
Hey, Real Estate Hustlers. Welcome to episode 26 of The Real Estate Hustle. If you guys are listening on the podcast app or Google Play, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. Also goes for Spotify and YouTube, and make sure to hit that like button a bunch of times so it sends the floating
Whole
like
bunch.
up your, yeah, whole bunch. It's what my little girl does. Just boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
So make sure to hit that if you're watching on our live stream. Thank you for joining us on our live stream if you are today, because we're a little bit late getting that going because
sorry about
of
that.
another technical difficulty.
Real life stuff. That's what we're talking about today.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
big shout out this week to our listeners in
Singapore.
Singapore.
Yes.
Guys,
Yes,
we've got some people listening in Singapore every week. They're faithful real estate
Thank you
hustlers.
very much.
And standing here next to Travis Green today, how is Mr. Travis?
Good. I wish I knew how to say thank you in Singapore.
Konnichiwa.
Is that how you do it?
I have no idea.
We want to say thank you. So
Do you know?
awesome.
Zach, do you know? Okay.
You
All
can
right.
probably Google Translate real quick.
You
But
probably could. Yeah.
you know, we're doing good. We're doing good. Today, we're going to talk to you about stuff. You know, every week we come with a topic, a lot of educational things that we're doing. But today, we just want to say things happen.
Yeah.
And that's okay. It's called life. And what we need to do to deal with some of those. We have some examples, some things that have happened recently to us. Just getting set up today was a little bit of a menagerie in itself. But
That's why we're
that's
20
okay.
minutes late.
That's okay. So today, I hope that doesn't turn anyone off about, oh, we're not going to learn anything. Well, we might.
Oh, yes, you will.
We might learn something about dealing with the everyday nuances of life. It happens, so pay attention. Let's talk about this.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple of frustrating experiences today, and it's been actually just really a frustrating day. I didn't even want to do the podcast today, quite frankly, because today's I've just been frustrated. It's been one of those days where I just want to throw my head through a wall.
That would be interesting to see.
Yeah, and it has to do with real estate. As you guys can probably relate, some days in real estate, it's just stinking frustrating. People just get under your skin and get under your nerves. So anyway, story number one from today I want to tell real quick is got a lead on Zillow, and they want to go see it for sell by owner. Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. We'll do it.
Sure.
So I drive all the way out there. It's about a 30-minute drive to go see this double wide trailer. And when I pulled up, nobody was there. They were there. They were a little bit late, which was fine. I understand people are late. But when I pulled up to the home, I realized it was one that I have already been to so many times because it had been on the market for like 2 years with an agent, never sold because it was not very nice. Anyway, so I'm sitting there, and then the client pulls up, and the owners pull up at the same time. And they instantly get out of their cars and are high-fiving and giving each other hugs and
Wow.
just chit-chatting. And I'm just like, and I'm just standing there kind of on the sidelines like, nobody acknowledged I was even there. And, here I spent some time trying to get all this coordinated and get this day set up so they can go see it. And then I don't even recognize I was there. So I'm just standing on the sidelines, just kind of, like moving my foot around in the dirt, like
Drawing circles.
what
in
am
the
I
dirt.
doing?
Yeah, okay.
Drawing little hieroglyphics of a sad face. Anyway, so I was just standing there, and they were all just chit-chatting and high-fiving and this, that, and the other, and drinking Kool-Aid together. And just having a great time. And so then I just kind of stood there, and there's like, you know, and I guess who I found out was the owner, said, all right, let's all go inside. And I just kind of raised my hand. I'm like, are any one of you Bailey? Like, is any one of you guys the people I've been talking to, or is this like a whole other thing going on? Because I had no clue.
Family reunion.
Yeah, and so that's what it seemed like. So anyway, so the one gal raised her hand. She said, yeah, that's me. I'm like, okay, so we've been talking, and she's like, yeah, that's me. I guess you don't really need to be here anymore. And I'm like, no, I need to be here. I'm going in with you guys. So and this is where things kind of got a little bit frustrating for me. So we went in this house, and I'm just like, oh, you know, they raised the price $40,000 from what they bought it a year ago.
Thanks.
And I thought, okay, maybe they did a bunch of updates to this double wide trailer. Nope, it's still the same brown 1985 wood paneling, leaking skylight, just gross inside. And anyway, so they took them in, and the owners were just going on. This place is amazing. The bedrooms are so big, and we've done so many updates to it. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, no, you guys haven't.
What in the
I
world?
saw this, and so I asked them, hey, when did you guys buy this? Oh, a year ago. I'm just like, yeah, okay, so nothing's been done. I mean, these, it was a first-time home buyer and her mom. And so it's like a 19-year-old girl who's just about to get married, and her mom were there. So anyway, these owners were just telling them every little story under the moon about why this place was so great. And a lot of them were just straight, blatant lies. And it was really, really starting to get under my skin a little bit. One of the things they said, which you might laugh about this, is one of the owners said, this is such a good investment. It's such a good investment because this area is going to be growing like you wouldn't believe. It's going to be full of $1 million estates. That was her quote.
Right next to their trailer.
Yeah. $1 million estates, which is going to just shoot the value of this place up, and you guys will never be in a bad position on this. And anyway, they're just going on. And so then the girl said, oh, I want my fiance to come back and see this. So who should we get a hold of? Should we call the agent or should we just call you? And I raised my hand like, yeah, call me. You know, that I just took time out of my day to come meet you guys. And the owners, you know, the owner was glaring at me the whole time, like, why on earth are you here? You know, he wouldn't give me the time of day. He wouldn't say hi to me. He just walked right past me. Anyway, so the owner said, no, you call me directly. All conversations will go through me. And I'm just like, oh, great. And so then the lady turned around again and said, wow, I guess we really don't need you here. And so I was about to just walk out. Like, I was just done. I'm just like, this is so annoying and awkward. But what was keeping me there was my determination to show that I proved value, or that I had value, and my determination to clear up all the lies that these for sale by owners were telling.
Oh.
Here's the problem with for sale by owners, and we've talked about this, is there's no regulation in the for sale by owner market. They don't have to disclose. I mean, they're not legally required to do things like we are as real estate agents. And so they can just tell every lie under the moon and just get away with it, because guess what? There's no realtor association for ethics complaints. There's no license that could get revoked or anything like that. And so these guys were literally just lying. So my determination was to clear up those lies to the people before they left that house. So as we're going outside, I thought, shoot, you know, my time might be past. Maybe I'll just have to call them. But the owner said, oh, let us take you around and let us show you the willow trees. And, of course, they didn't show them all the pigs next door, you know, and all the other trailer garbage that was all around. And so anyway, as they started going around, I grabbed the mom. I said, hey, come here. We need to talk. So I pulled her aside, and I just said, look, these owners are lying through their teeth. This place is not going to grow. This is Archer, Idaho. This is not going to be full of $1 million estates. Sorry. I know all the problems with this place because I've shown this thing like 10 times. I at one point had these disclosures memorized because I'd shown it so many times. And the price is way too high. These guys only paid $80,000 a year ago. There's no way it's worth the price that they're charging today. And I was just clearing all these things up and just telling her and just showing her why I need to be there and why I need to add value. And she's just like, oh.
Amazing.
And so anyway, they will not be going back, and they will not be making an offer on that property now, and we will be showing them more homes. So I was frustrated because I thought they were just going to lose me because they kept trying to tell me to go away. And I'm just sitting there like, get another gut kick. Thank you. Yeah. But it was a very awkward showing, very frustrating showing. But guys, don't ever be afraid to go out there and prove your value and show them why they need a real estate agent, especially on I can't say especially passionate enough, but especially on these for sale by owners. People get into a lot of trouble with these for sale by owners is my fear, and where there's no market regulation for them, they can just kind of do whatever they want. Really, all they have to do is just close it at a title company, and nobody checks on anything else.
Isn't that tough? And I appreciate your story. That's the first time I heard that story. And it's tough. I've been in some of those situations where they try to excuse the agent, and you've got to be the kind of hustler that stays there and proves your value and say, look, no, that's incorrect. And like Rick did, pulling that mom aside saying, look, here's the scoop. Whether I get the sale or not, you need to know. Yeah. That's right. I appreciate that, and that's tough, and that makes for a hard afternoon. That makes for a hard evening. Those are frustrating moments.
After a hard morning.
But I am certain, and again, I don't even know anything about the situation, but I'm certain that mom and that daughter are much more loyal to you now than they ever have been because you stepped forward rather than just go along with the flow. Oh, yeah. You're not trying to just save the commission, the deal. Yeah. You're trying to inform people of reality. The for sale by owner world is completely unregulated. Like you said, there's no education. There's no go-to people. There's no, there's no effect that they have to go through if something goes south, other than I guess someone could sue somebody. But getting to those stages is very scary. There's so many things that people could say just to get a deal done. Yeah. They may excuse that freeway that's supposed to go in right behind the house 6 months from now,
Or the fact that in just a few years, nobody can get lending on that property because it's going to be too old of a manufactured home to get lending.
That's right. Things that for sale by owners don't know, and if they did, won't say it. That's very true. Once a manufactured home, a trailer, gets to be so many years, they don't even loan on them anymore. You cannot get financing on them. Who's going to tell a buyer that?
Yeah. And the funniest part of this whole thing was that the for sale by owners were going on and on about how cool it was that they said there's an easement that goes right through our property. And I'm just like, okay, that is really not a good thing. But I don't think they understood what an easement was. And they were just saying, so you could ride like motorbikes and four-wheelers and build a track, and you could do all kinds of cool things with this easement. You guys, it's so cool that this easement's here. And I'm like, do you guys even know what an easement? What are you thinking it is?
Or that could be the next freeway through to the new subdivision or the new whatever.
Right. Yeah. I know.
So there's lots of problems. There's lots of, and I guess what we're talking about is not just the problem, the scenario that Rick went through, but how that affected him, how that turned, emotions on in him of saying, look, the defenses kind of came out, the mood of the day kind of swung a little bit, and this is real estate stuff. It's not all roses. There's a lot of things that go on day to day.
It isn't.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay because as hustlers, we understand there are good with the bad. There's frustration with the success. It's just part of what we do. And it is the cycle. And what we're going to do here in a minute, we're going to get down our list and talk about how we personally deal with this. So here's the scenario that Rick went through, a frustrating showing where the seller was there, the buyer was buying into the Kool-Aid. Rick had to intervene and save the day. It set his day off, made him not feel as good. Well, let's talk about how to fix that. But before we do, one of the things that we also deal with as real estate agents that is a little frustrating are these listings that we have that sometimes don't sell. And the reason why...
We've got one of those right now.
We do. In fact, I just talked with them today. And the reason why it's frustrating is because they're looking to you for the solution, right? Yeah. You are the agent. You're the person that told them it's going to sell. You set the price. You did all these great things, so it's your fault that it's not selling, right?
Yeah.
Well, how do we deal with those things? We just had one today. Luckily, these sellers that we're working with are sweet people. They understand. They say, look, we priced it where we did because we thought this was going to happen or that was going to happen. So we go through the list. We say, okay, how's your location? Location's good. It's up on the hill. It's got some nice views. Condition, well, it's spotless. Little dated in some areas, but spotless clean. Has a mother-in-law suite in it. Has a nice backyard. It's fenced. It's all that kind of stuff. So that checks off, right? Okay, so what's next? Price. What can we do about the price? Well, I'm willing to do whatever I got to do to sell this and not go negative. If I don't make anything, that's fine, but I don't want to go negative. So I said, all right, let's go back to the drawing board. I'll print you off some net sheets. Let's take a look at this together. So I did that. I sent them some net sheets, which is the breakdown, as we know, of what they will get in the end after a sale price, after the loan's paid off and all that. And I gave them a couple scenarios. Guess what? They chose the lowest scenario, the fire sale, if you will, the one that says we have about that much wiggle room left, or we're going to have to pay money. So these people were very willing to listen to my advice and say, look, everything checks out. It must be price. Let's go back to the drawing board on that. Here's a couple scenarios. My recommendation is drive it down to the bottom that you're willing to go. Yeah. We're going to hold firm there. If an offer comes in low, we're going to say, we love you, but no, we're going to stick right here. Generally, someone's going to take it because they see the value. So those moments can be frustrating too. It makes you kind of sit back in your chair a minute and go, this isn't my fault. It's not, it's the market, it's the price, it's other things. But sometimes it makes you feel inundated with, why are they coming? Why is this my fault? How come I'm so bad, or whatever. But reality is, we just got to get to the bottom of the solution. And that in this situation was price. And now they're happy. They say, okay, let's go for it. Hopefully it'll sell, because after this, I don't know what to tell them.
Well, and that kind of brings to mind another scenario. We have another listing right now where, because we always tell them price, condition, location, 3 things that sell a home.
Right.
And we hope you guys use those for your clients as well.
And a super good agent.
Yeah, and a super good agent. Yeah, exactly. So so we've got another one that, I think their price is a little bit high, and the condition and location of their home is fantastic. And so it's been sitting on the home for a month, and there's like, why hasn't it sold? I said, we need to lower the price. The price is too high. And so they took it into their own hands to go get a ton of second opinions from family members, from a construction guy, and this, that, and the other. And now they're coming back to us saying, no, you guys just aren't working hard enough. You need to be putting up flyers everywhere. You need to be contacting the hospital. You need to be contacting this company, and this company, and this company. And and it's, and so in those scenarios where they're refusing to lower the price, because I know all of you have probably been in that situation where they just say, no, you're just not working hard enough. We're not reducing our price. And all their second opinions were from people who have never sold a house in their life. So what in that case,
that puts you in a defensive position.
It does. It puts you in a very defensive position. Yeah.
Because you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, the photography we do, the videography that we do, it's on the
drone footage.
It's on the 100 different websites. Every real estate agent in the entire area has it on their computer.
We've had a ton of showings.
And you're mad at me that it's not sold, although there's 600 plus agents in our local MLS system. They haven't brought an offer, but you're mad at me.
Yeah.
That puts you in a defensible position.
It does.
And it's tough.
Yeah.
So what's the solution to that? Well, sometimes they're not easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're just not easy. Sometimes it takes time. It takes time for the sellers to realize that they aren't sitting on a pot of gold.
Right.
But the problem is they're going to keep calling you, the agent, saying, why isn't it selling? I want you to do this.
Been several days in a row every day. It's about a 30-minute conversation of them just.
And so there comes a point, and I'm just throwing this out there. You keep doing your mojo, you work hard, you do all you can, and if it is just more than it's worth, you excuse them and fire the listing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying get rid of money, but sometimes your sanity, your well-being is better than that commission that may or may not come. We are confident that that you have the ability to sell any homes out there. Right. We do that too. But sometimes you just got to ask yourself that.
You can sell any home, but sometimes it's not worth dealing with the client.
Yeah.
Right?
It really is true.
I know we can sell their home.
I know
absolutely know.
I know we can too. But if you take one $400,000 home and the headaches of it and the time it takes, or sell 2 or 3 $200,000 homes in half the time, you're better off.
Yeah. Yep.
So something to consider.
Yeah.
Something to consider.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Right now, I'm just kind of doing, they're telling me to make flyers and do this. And I know it's not productive. We're doing the most productive things. And that's what we always do. Mm-hmm. The most exposure. And they, people have in their mind a lot of times that there's still these hidden places that people find homes, or, it's just like, guys, everybody's looking on Zillow or Trulia. Or Realtor.com or realestate.com. Right. Those are the places they need to be. If somebody's looking for a home, that's where they go. They don't go to some secret place.
So that door hanger, contacting the HR department, all these kind of things, is like, yeah, we can. But if they're looking, they're online.
And I'm doing it for them just to say I did.
Sure.
But I know it's a waste of my time. So it's one of those things.
So sometimes there's not an easy answer.
There's not, yeah.
But we're telling you, it happens to us.
Yeah.
There's
just got to stay positive.
It is. And amongst these situations, what about the economy? What about home pricing and interest rates? These things tend to worry us real estate agents, right? Because if home prices continue to go up, if interest rates keep going up, what does that mean for the future? How do we deal with that? There's a lot of worry, a lot of concern that we all have about the future.
Right.
What do we do about that? Well, my first thought is continue to add value, because even when things slow down, if interest rates go up, if the economy has a tendency to reset again, because we have a little bit of a recipe brewing that's similar to 2007 and 8, if no one has noticed.
Yeah.
And if this happens, you've just got to be your best. You've got to be the honest agent with the greatest amount of integrity. You've got to be in the right places, being consistent. Part of it is showing up to the office every day, staying in tune with your database, your clients, the people who love you. You will be the one who's busy. The guy who's out there to make a one-time killing will say anything they want just to get the job done, to get that commission and run the other way. That guy's not going to survive. Right. Nor do we want that person in the hustle. Okay.
Yep.
So I would say keep yourself centered. All right. Keep your mind about you. Be consistent. Be real. Be the agent you know you should be. Stay in front of your clients. Make sure that they trust you. The biggest thing you can do is have them trust you, because when things go south, they're going to need to maybe sell a home. Maybe they lost their job. Maybe this happened or that happened. You've got to be the first one there, and you'll make it through any downturn. I think that really can happen. On a side note, this is not me preaching about it's not personal stuff. Finances. That's where I'm trying to go. I don't know how to say that, but get your house in order.
Yeah.
If you're driving that fancy truck or that fancy car because you think it's impressing your clients or whatever, maybe take a second look at that. Get yourself in order mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, the best you can, so that if or when things happen, you can breathe a little bit. Okay, that would be my advice in that scenario.
Yeah, I agree. And I had a very interesting conversation with a good friend of ours, a broker over in Wyoming today, and I wanted to chat with him about what he's observing in his market, because in our market right now, home prices are they're stupid.
They're getting high.
They're getting really high. It's getting scary. It's getting, like Travis said, it's kind of 2007, 2008. It's kind of that recipe we're seeing. Not exactly, but similar. So I asked him, I said, what are things doing over there in Wyoming? He lives in a bigger city in Wyoming, if there's such a thing. Anyway, and so his market was very similar, but he said, we're already starting to see corrections here. And I'm like, interesting.
Yeah.
So their market's not like crashing, but he said, everybody's been priced out. Every home has become unaffordable because interest rates are going high, prices are going high. And so what's happening over there now is the correction's already starting. Home prices are starting to fall. Days on market are racking up, and everybody's starting to have to lower the price of their home over there because nobody can afford them anymore. Curious, guys, what are your markets doing?
Wouldn't that be great? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just curious what your guys' markets are doing. But
I think that would be great if before it all hit the fan, we as adults and people, said to ourselves, all right, I'm going to start getting reasonable. Mm-hmm. All right, time out. I get this. Cool. All right, I'm going to drop my price a little bit. I'm going to make it so it's affordable. Okay, rather than being forced to do so.
Yeah.
I just think such a better way.
Yeah.
Be reasonable. I know as a homeowner, if I sell, I want to get the most I can. Who doesn't? I get that. Mm-hmm. But the gouging and the overpricing is only going to come back to get us again.
I got a funny story about that, actually. So I was having a planning meeting. I'm a scout leader, and me and a couple of the other leaders were having a planning meeting the other night. And one of the guys I served with, he was wanting to know the value of his home, because he was considering moving and things like that. And then he had an interesting conversation with me, just asking, hey, Rick, how's the real estate market going? I'm just like, dude, it's nuts. Like, it's crazy. I don't know what's going on out there. I do know what's going on, but, just the phrase. Anyway, and so he's like, you know what? I had to come to a pretty harsh realization the other day. I'm just like, what's that? He's like, I want to sell my home for $100 a square foot, but I only want to buy it $80 a square foot. And that's not fair. And I'm like, you're right. That's not fair. And I'm like, but that's the mentality of people out there right now. I want to sell at 100, but I only want to buy 80. And anybody charging over 80 is a ripoff.
Isn't that funny?
It doesn't really work that way.
Isn't that funny?
So kind of an interesting perspective from him. Somebody wanted to buy to sell his house, and all of a sudden he's having these realizations that, like, oh, I guess maybe it doesn't work that way. Maybe I should just sit tight and so. Interesting perspective from somebody.
And between the real estate agent and the appraiser, there's got to be this balance of what something's really worth and what an appraiser is just willing to slap a price on it, or you give it the okay, the green light.
Yeah.
So I think that as agents, we just need to be realistic. Let's not go into this with the idea that I'm going to cash out. I'm going to make it the best. And I mean, I know that by you alone not doing that isn't going to change the rest of the world. I get that. But let's just do our part to be reasonable. Do the best we can for our clients, of course. Yeah. But let's just be reasonable and make it a win-win for everybody. We're just going to do better that way. That's the message I have for everyone across the world right now is let's just work together and make things a fair, good, upfront deal. No gouging, no I'm going to win and you're going to lose, because that's going to set us back into a tailspin.
Yeah.
I think that personally, as we go through this, I'm asking myself, what can I do to be okay, to just function day to day. This is what we started talking about. It was just the ups and the downs of real estate, the arrogant or the mean buyers and sellers, or the prices going through the roof, the worry, the concern, what's going to happen around the corner, all this.
Sometimes it gets overwhelming.
It can get very overwhelming. The unknown, not knowing what's going to happen, but yet kind of seeing in our rearview mirror what just happened a few years ago and going, are we really going to get back into that? Oh my goodness. There's a lot of that. So as real people, Rick and I, we worry about this. So we're trying to be proactive. One of the things I'll share personally is I would say take time for yourself. It's hard because you're trying to get every real estate deal you can. You're trying to load the bank account up, or you're trying to pay off this bill, or you're trying to be the best and be the greatest and be the best known real estate agent out there and all that. But you got to slow down, reduce speed just a little bit, and make time for yourself. Let's go back to that analogy of chopping a tree with a dull axe, right? It's going to take you a lot longer than if you just take a minute, step aside, sharpen it. You'll do it in a quarter of the time. So I would say, take time for yourself spiritually, physically, mentally. Get up in the morning and exercise, move your body, read some good books. If you're a person of faith, read scriptures. We do that. And I think as you keep yourself grounded, keep yourself real, keep yourself where you need to be as a person, you'll handle the stresses of life better. Now, we're still learning some of that too. We're not perfect in it.
We're not perfect.
We deal with a lot of this, but my suggestions are those. I would say get to your core beliefs and values and live by them.
And and sometimes it's necessary just to take those in the middle of the day.
Sure.
Today, for example, I thought my head was going to pop off my shoulders, and
I'm glad it didn't.
It would have been messy. So I'm really glad it didn't too.
Right.
But anyway, so I remembered the advice at the seminar where we were at, a guy named Garrett White, who you've read his book, and I still
learned a lot of colorful language and things, but a good book.
Yeah, he does a little bit of colorful language. Anyway, he mentioned an app called Headspace. I don't know if any of you guys have that. I downloaded it, but today I finally remembered that I had it. It's a meditation app. I've never done that before. But anyway, so he talked about, guys, life happens. Frustrations happen. Things get in the way and you want to punch somebody sometimes or whatever. Take a step back. Take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, pull open this app, stick your earbuds in, and just listen to what it says. So I did that for the first time today. I'm just like, meditation crap, I don't know what this is. And anyway, but I did it. I went out in the front of the office here. I sat down, I stuck my headphones in, closed my eyes, and meditated for 5 minutes. And I came back wanting to do a podcast because before that, I'm just like, I'm not doing the podcast today. I don't want to do it. But anyway, so that just taking just that 5 minutes and just being able to breathe and think and just kind of refocus your energy and let things go. I'm a person that I don't carry grudges, but I carry weight, obviously, but weight of things outside, the pressure of
emotional
work,
weight,
emotional weight.
Yeah,
and that kind of thing. I carry a lot of that with me. And but I think taking those little breaks throughout the day is pretty vital to just kind of letting those things go and just pushing them off. And
I think that's good advice. That's good advice. Taking time here and there, sharpen that axe, take time out, get out of the environment, take a minute for yourself, just recoup, rebreathe, and focus, I think is very vital. That's good advice.
Thanks. It was Garrett White's.
Oh, thanks, Garrett. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, those are my thoughts. We're struggling day to day with different things. Everybody does. We're
all in this together.
We are. We're all in this together. Those are just a few examples that have happened recently. It's something we thought we'd share. And what our ideas on solutions are. They may be a little different for you. Share them with us. We'd love to hear. What do you do when you have a situation that seems insurmountable? It's over your head. It's frustrating. It's just angering, or it's worrisome, or whatever. What do you do? We'd love to hear.
Yeah. Love to hear. Send us a message on the Real Estate Hustle group, or go to, I think we only have one email address set up for the Real Estate Hustle. So rick@therealestatehustle.com. If you want to send us, we'd love to hear you guys' stories, because we can all learn from each other. As we talked about last week, what is a real estate hustler? Well, real estate hustlers are people that share stories and information and ways to help with other people. And we'd love to get your guys' feedback and hear your guys' stories as well, because it's not all about us. It's about you guys.
We all have something we can share with each other and grow and learn from, and that is exactly right. When we went down through our 24. Yeah, we changed it to 24. That's right. Of our list of what a real estate hustler is, one of those was we are not. Our hustler is not afraid to share with others within our group, to build another, to help another. We're not afraid that we're going to get our ideas stolen from each other. We want to build the culture, build each other. So please share.
Yep. Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to be back next week, hopefully at 3 o'clock. We may have to just totally do a whole new setup because technology seems to just get in our way every week. But
we'll make it. We're
going to make it. We're going to make it. So sometime between 3 and 4, we'll be back on the live stream. And again, guys, if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on Google Play, Stitcher, podcast app, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook, hit that like button a whole bunch of times like I'm doing right now. It's really fun. And we're excited to get back to you guys next week. We are coming out, guys, with Zach. We've got Zach Bailey, who's a fantastic guy. He's been helping us on the real estate hustle side of things. We're doing some rebranding. We've got some cool stuff, a swag line coming out, and we're excited to start revealing those things, guys. Awesome. It's going to be sweet. So stay tuned for that. And for now, I think the break's over.
Break's over. Yeah. We need you. We want you. Please subscribe next week. Be here, like us, love us, but get back to work.
We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening to our rants.